What if your worst nightmare walked among us, picking apart your every phobia? Would it be the grinning facade of Pennywise, tempting you with balloons and whispers, or the chilling voice of Vecna, dragging you into a terrifying mental abyss? We're diving deep into the psychology of fear itself, analyzing how these two iconic villains exploit our vulnerabilities, and which one is truly the undisputed architect of dread. Prepare to confront your fears. Beneath the seemingly innocent streets of Derry, an ancient terror lurks. Pennywise, the dancing clown, is far more than a mere circus prankster. He is an interdimensional entity older than the town itself, whose existence feeds directly on fear. His hunting ground is not the body, but the mind. Pennywise can sense the deepest, most hidden anxieties, phobias, and past traumas of anyone who dares enter his domain, and he transforms these inner horrors into living, breathing manifestations. A child afraid of drowning might find the local sewers rising like a liquid prison, with grotesque hands pulling them under. A fear of fire could summon walls of flames that dance with mocking glee. Every fear becomes tangible, personalized, and inescapable. And yet, within the madness, there is a sinister sense of humor. Pennywise delights in taunting, whispering cruel jokes that twist terror into bitter amusement, like a dark carnival where the victims are the main attraction. But Pennywise's power extends far beyond simple psychological manipulation. He bends reality itself, warping the town of Derry into a surreal landscape where streets stretch impossibly long, doors lead to nowhere, and shadows ride with a life of their own. Gravity is no longer reliable, walls can close in or melt away, and time seems to dilate, stretching moments of fear into eternity. His ability to manipulate perception is absolute. He can appear as the most harmless or comforting figure to lure victims close, only to transform in an instant into a monstrous vision of death. This duality, playful clown, one moment, terrifying predator the next, keeps his victims disoriented, panicked, and vulnerable. He can leap between forms, from giant spider to grotesque humanoid, using physical horror to complement his mental assault, ensuring that no fear remains theoretical. It is lived, experienced, and amplified in real time. Pennywise is a master of chaos, exploiting the fragility of the human mind with surgical precision masked by unpredictability. He hunts alone, but thrives on the interplay of isolation and paranoia, pushing groups to fracture as he preys on the insecurities and fears that make humans so fragile. Yet even in his omnipotent madness, he is not invincible. His power has limits. Unity, love, and courage can weaken or even temporarily banish him, as shown when children confront their fear together. But these moments are fleeting. The clown's patience is ancient, his cunning infinite, and his hunger for fear relentless. A single encounter can feel like a lifetime of terror, punctuated by moments of grotesque comedy. The sharp, ironic contrast between the clown's silly antics and the soul-crushing horror he inflicts. Vecna, the architect of the mind labyrinth. Emerging from the shadowy depths of the Upside Down, Vecna is the incarnation of cold, calculating terror. Once human, Henry Creel, he has transformed into a psychic entity of unparalleled precision, ruling his nightmarish dimension with an intellect as sharp as it is ruthless. Unlike Pennywise, whose power is chaos incarnate, Vecna's horror is methodical, deliberate, and meticulously crafted. He preys not on primal fear alone, but on the guilt, regret, and hidden trauma that haunt every human soul. Each victim is trapped within a labyrinth of their own mind, where memories twist into deadly illusions, past mistakes manifest as monsters, and every step forward leads deeper into despair. Ordinary spaces become surreal arenas of torment. A bedroom might stretch endlessly, walls pulse with psychic energy, and tendrils creep from corners, invisible yet impossible to ignore. Every sound, every shadow, every whisper is engineered to unnerve, to isolate, and to break down the psyche with precision surgical enough to rival any horror writer's imagination. Vecna's power does not remain confined to the mind. Through dimensional convergence, he bridges the Upside Down with the real world, tearing rifts that allow him to manifest physical horrors, tendrils that coil like living rope, psychic blasts that shatter the air, and portals that twist reality itself. His attacks are both cerebral and corporeal, a fusion of mental torture and physical threat that leaves no escape. Yet, even in his terrifying efficiency, there is an almost darkly ironic artistry. He toys with his victims like a chess master, measuring exactly how long guilt and regret take to warp into terror, almost as if to whisper, "You thought you were safe? How quaint." Unlike Pennywise, Vecna does not need flashy transformations or grotesque tricks. His presence alone bends reality, and his calm, calculated demeanor makes each psychological strike more devastating. The air feels heavier, the mind feels tighter, and each second becomes an unbearable stretch as victims realize that the threat is not just imminent, it is inevitable. In a confrontation with another predator of fear, Vecna's structured torment becomes a battlefield of intellect versus instinct. His mastery over perception, memory, and guilt allows him to exploit even the most chaotic adversary, turning unpredictability against itself. While Pennywise might create spontaneous, grotesque horrors, Vecna anticipates, analyzes, and manipulates the response, crafting traps within traps. But despite his brilliance, he is not without weaknesses. Distractions, music, or disruptions in his psychic focus can shatter his control, leaving openings for those brave or foolish enough to challenge him. Every move he makes, however, is layered with patience, precision, and dark theatricality. Facing Vecna is not just a fight, it is a psychological gauntlet, a descent into a mind where every regret is a weapon, every memory a snare, and even the quietest moments can hide a crushing, inescapable terror. In the end, the crown of fear tilts toward Vecna. Pennywise is a force of pure chaos, terrifying, nearly unstoppable, and darkly hilarious in his cruelty. But against a master of psychological warfare, one who can weaponize every ounce of fear, regret, and memory with surgical precision, even ancient madness can falter. Vecna exploits this, turning Derry into a psychic snare where Pennywise's illusions collapse under the weight of calculated torment. The clown's laughter becomes strained, the shadows recoil, and even his grotesque transformations are trapped within a mind designed to outmaneuver chaos. Vecna stands victorious, not through brute force, but through strategy, intellect, and the merciless use of every secret fear Pennywise has ever conjured. In this epic clash, terror itself has a master, and Vecna claims the throne as the ultimate architect of fear, leaving Pennywise's chaotic carnival of nightmares in the eerie silence of defeat.